1. Emotional connection at the start. When Luna starts spending time with Arif, they engage in deep conversations about their lives, families, and struggles. Arif's attention and understanding of Luna's emotional state make her feel important and valued. This emotional connection marks the beginning of their romantic tension. 2. The moment their eyes meet. One day, while sitting in the garden with Arif, their eyes meet for a brief but intense moment. This silent exchange of glances creates a subtle, undeniable spark between them. Luna begins to feel an attraction she tries to ignore, and the chemistry between them grows. 3. Arif's confession. Arif finally admits his feelings to Luna. He tells her, "I can't stop thinking about you," acknowledging his emotional pull towards her. This confession is a turning point, where Luna realizes that she too feels something for him, but the guilt and confusion begin to take root. This moment strengthens the romantic tension between them. 4. Physical proximity and growing intimacy. In a moment of heightened tension, Arif steps closer to Luna. The air between them thickens as their physical closeness amplifies their attraction. Luna feels her heart race as they stand near each other, and the intensity of the moment suggests that their feelings are no longer just emotional, but also physical. 5. The struggle with guilt and desire. After their conversation, Arif expresses his desire to take things one step at a time, signaling that he wants to explore a deeper connection with Luna. This statement reflects their mutual attraction and longing. However, Luna is torn between her guilt towards her friend Sanaa and the undeniable pull she feels toward Arif. This internal conflict highlights the complexity of their budding romantic feelings. These moments reveal the growing romantic tension between Luna and Arif as their emotional and physical connection deepens, despite the complications and guilt Luna feels due to her friendship with Sanaa. Luna was a 40-year-old woman living in a quiet, suburban neighborhood. She had a warm smile and an easygoing personality that made her well-liked in the community. Luna had 3 children, all of whom were studying in different stages of their school life. Her husband, Ahmed, worked abroad in the construction industry, leaving Luna to manage the household alone. Their marriage, once full of passion, had grown distant over the years, the physical and emotional distance growing as Ahmed's work took him farther and farther away. Luna often found herself alone, navigating the daily challenges of raising her children while managing the house. Her friends were her support system, but there was one friend in particular, Sanaa, who had become an integral part of her life. Sanaa, a lively woman in her early 40s, lived just a few blocks away with her husband, Arif. Arif was a kind, gentle man, and the couple had always been welcoming to Luna and her children. Luna would visit Sanaa often, sometimes for a cup of tea, other times for longer visits, where the two women would talk about everything: the struggles of motherhood, their dreams, their hopes, and, on occasion, their frustrations with their husbands. Although Ahmed was a good provider, he had become increasingly absorbed in his work abroad, and Luna couldn't help but feel neglected. Meanwhile, Sanaa's marriage seemed to flourish, or at least appeared that way. Arif was attentive, affectionate, and seemed to have a much stronger connection with his wife than Luna had with Ahmed. One evening, after a particularly long day of handling her children's school projects and household chores, Luna decided to visit Sanaa's house. It was a quiet evening, and she needed a break from the constant buzz of her own home. When she arrived, Sanaa greeted her warmly, and they sat down to talk. Arif, who was a bit of a quiet man, was watching a football match in the living room. He greeted Luna briefly and then returned to his game. As the evening wore on, Luna couldn't help but notice the subtle chemistry between her and Arif. He was kind to her, offering her a second cup of tea when she didn't ask, and his attention was always gentle but noticeable. She found herself smiling more than usual, and when their eyes met briefly, there was an undeniable spark. She quickly brushed off the thought, convincing herself that it was just her tiredness and emotional need for affection talking. Over the following weeks, Luna continued to visit Sanaa's house. Arif, despite his quiet nature, began to engage in deeper conversations with her. They spoke about their families, about their hopes for the future, and even about their past struggles. Luna found comfort in his words, There was something soothing in the way he listened to her, the way he paid attention. It was a contrast to the growing distance she felt with her own husband. One day, when Luna was sitting with Arif in the garden, a moment of silence stretched between them. Arif stood up to adjust something, and when he turned around, their eyes met. For a brief second, Luna felt a surge of emotions, an ache in her chest, a longing, an intense connection. Arif's gaze softened, and he walked towards her slowly. The air seemed to thicken between them, and before Luna could react, he was standing right in front of her. "I'm sorry, Luna," Arif said quietly. "I didn't mean for this to happen." Luna blinked, confused, her heart racing. "What do you mean?" "I don't know," Arif said, running a hand through his hair. "It's just, whenever I'm with you, I can't help but feel this connection. I never meant for it to go this far, but I feel something for you." Luna was silent for a long moment. Her mind raced, and her heart struggled to make sense of the emotions swirling within her. She had been missing affection, missing intimacy, and now here it was, right in front of her. I don't know what to say," Luna whispered. Arif took a step back, his expression conflicted. "We should never have allowed this to happen. I care about you, Luna. I care about Sanaa, too. But I can't ignore this." The tension in the air was thick, and Luna felt a pang of guilt. She knew that this could ruin everything. The friendship with Sanaa, her family, her life as she knew it. But at the same time, she couldn't deny what she was feeling. The next few weeks were a whirlwind of confusion and self-reflection for Luna. She couldn't shake the thoughts of Arif from her mind. Every time she visited, she felt the pull towards him, even as she tried to distance herself. The guilt weighed on her. Sanaa was her closest friend, and here she was, falling for her husband. One night, after a particularly tense visit to Sanaa's house, Luna found herself in a conversation with Arif that took a turn neither of them expected. They were standing on the porch, the evening air cool and quiet. "Luna," Arif said softly, his voice tinged with hesitation, "I can't stop thinking about you. I know this is wrong, but I can't help how I feel. Please, just tell me if you feel the same way." Luna's heart skipped a beat. She had never expected to hear those words from him, yet here they were. I do feel something," she admitted, her voice barely a whisper. "But I don't know if this is the right thing. I don't know if I can live with the consequences." Arif stepped closer, his presence overwhelming. "Then let's just take it one step at a time," he said, his voice filled with longing. "We don't have to make any decisions yet. But I can't keep pretending that I don't want this. Don't you want it too?" Luna felt torn between her loyalty to her friend and the growing desire in her heart. She was at a crossroads, unsure of what path to take. She knew she couldn't go on like this, but the pull towards Arif was too strong to ignore. Days passed, and Luna's visits to Sanaa became more strained. The guilt gnawed at her, and every time she saw Sanaa's smiling face, it was as if she was hiding a terrible secret. Luna knew that sooner or later, she would have to make a choice. But deep down, she was afraid. Afraid of what this relationship with Arif could cost her. Afraid of losing everything she had built with her family and friends. Would Luna find the strength to break free from the silence in her heart? Or would the storm she had created unravel everything she had once known? Only time would tell. Certainly, here are a few more romantic moments that could have taken place between Luna and Arif in the story. 1. Unspoken touch. During one of their conversations, as Luna is speaking about her frustrations with her husband, Arif gently places a hand on her arm in a comforting gesture. It's a small but intimate touch, one that lingers for a moment longer than necessary. Luna feels a rush of warmth, and for a second, the world outside seems to fade away. The touch says more than words ever could, expressing empathy, care, and an undeniable attraction between them. 2. Late-night conversations. One evening, Luna stays later than usual at Sanaa's house. Arif and Luna find themselves alone in the living room, talking about their lives. As they speak, the atmosphere becomes softer, more intimate. The conversation moves away from everyday topics to deeper, more personal subjects. Arif looks at her with intensity, and Luna finds herself opening up in ways she hasn't with anyone in a long time. The emotional closeness between them becomes tangible, and their attraction feels like something unspoken yet powerful. 3. A shared secret look. One afternoon, as Sanaa is in the kitchen preparing tea, Luna and Arif share a fleeting but meaningful look across the room. It's a silent acknowledgement of the feelings they've been trying to ignore. Their eyes lock for just a moment, but in that instant, Luna knows that Arif is just as drawn to her as she is to him. It's a look filled with longing, desire, and a quiet understanding that something more than friendship is beginning to develop. 4. The unexpected kiss. In a moment of heightened emotion, when Luna is feeling overwhelmed by her feelings, Arif leans in close to her. He gently brushes a strand of hair from her face, and as his fingers linger on her cheek, Luna feels a surge of emotion. Without thinking, they both lean in and share a brief but passionate kiss. It's a kiss that conveys all the longing and desire they've kept hidden for so long. The moment is electric, leaving both of them breathless and confused as they pull away, realizing the consequences of what they've just done. 5. Physical closeness and whispered words. On another occasion, Luna finds herself sitting next to Arif, the space between them feeling smaller with every passing minute. As they talk quietly about life, their faces inch closer, and Luna can feel his breath on her skin. In a soft voice, Arif whispers something personal to her, maybe a compliment or a statement about how he feels about her. The intimacy of the moment, the closeness of their bodies, and the vulnerability in his voice stir something deep inside Luna. She feels as though she is falling for him, though every part of her is trying to resist. 6. A hand-holding moment. There's a moment when Luna and Arif are walking together in the garden, talking about family and life. As they walk side by side, Luna's hand brushes against Arif's. It's a simple accident, but it sparks an electric connection between them. Both of them stop walking for a moment, and there's a brief, shared glance before Arif gently takes her hand in his, holding it for a few seconds before letting go. The touch, though fleeting, is enough to send a rush of warmth through Luna's chest. It's a wordless declaration of their connection and growing feelings for each other. These moments further highlight the emotional and physical attraction that's building between Luna and Arif, even as they both try to navigate the complex and risky situation they find themselves in. The chemistry between them is undeniable, and each interaction only intensifies their feelings for one another.